Hi everybody, here's a recording on how to create surveys in Canvas. So when you are creating a survey in Canvas, you are really creating a quiz. And so here are some steps in order to create this survey. This is great for teachers or staff who like to do a survey type in the beginning of their students, maybe in the beginning of the trimester, beginning of the year, whatever it may be, but this is a great way to do it in Canvas. Now, when you are creating a survey, you're going to go to the quizzes and you're just going to say add quiz. If you are very familiar with adding your quiz or creating a new quiz, this should be pretty easy. Then in the details, you're going to say sample survey, or you're going to put the title that you want your survey to be. Now, my suggestion is that you go ahead and create a title that you will use for next year, because this is going to be great stuff to go ahead and transfer into next year's Canvas. So create that title that you may want to use for your survey. Now, as you go down, you're going to go ahead and push ungraded survey, because this is going to be ungraded. I will caution you that in Canvas, even though it does say ungraded survey, they do assign points to it, but it will not affect the student's grade. It has no effect on the student's grade, but Canvas, for some reason, just assigns points to it. Now, the assignment group is going to be My Assignments, simply due to the fact that you're going to save it into kind of your little cloud, okay? And then obviously allowing a multiple attempts, and I'll show you how to do that in Canvas. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is we're going to create those questions, and those questions are going to be simply those essay types of questions. So when you are creating those questions, you're going to go into the questions tab at the very top. And when we get into Canvas, I'll show you how to do that. Then you're going to just add a new question, and then you'll see a drop down next to it, which you're going to say essay question. And then you're going to type your question and update your question. And then you are going to just keep doing that for as many questions as you have. Once you have that, then we're going to go ahead and put it into the module. Okay, that's kind of like your unit, or whatever it may be. I'll show you how to do that in Canvas in just a moment. It's pretty easy to add it to the module. You're just going to push that little plus sign in the module, and then you're going to see a drop down. You're going to go into quizzes, because we actually did just create a quiz, and you'll see it right there. And then it will be you just highlight it and add it to your module. All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears here a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do that in Canvas actually. So here is my demo class from K-12, and I have my demo module, sample unit. I'll show you how to create a module in just a moment. It is really simple. If you forgot that in that prerequisite, then I'll show you really quickly. But I'm going to come down here to quizzes, and quizzes is going to be on this left hand side where you have a bunch of lists here. So I'm going to go into quizzes, and once I go into quizzes, I'm going to go ahead and add a new quiz. That's what this survey is going to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and push that plus sign right there at the very top. Now, for training purposes, I'm just going to call mine sample survey. Please make sure you do put this title of your survey, your real title of your survey that you are creating. So I'm just going to put sample survey, and I'm just going to put 4 because I've done multiple of them. So that's how you create your title. Then down here, you're going to create the instructions you want for your survey. So for example, I might just put please fill out survey. Okay, again, your instructions can be as elaborate as you would like, but that's where you're going to see it. That's where the students are going to see what to do with this survey. Okay, now just like we said, it is going to be an ungraded survey. So if you come down here where it says quiz type, I'm going to go ahead and say ungraded survey. Now, like I said before, and I don't know why Canvas does this, but it does assign points to it, even though it will not have any effect on the student's grade, okay, if that is you. So once you have that, you're going to go ahead and scroll on down here, and we're going to talk about allowing for multiple attempts. So you want to make sure you check that. And then right here it says allowed attempts. How many attempts do you want it to have? If you don't have a number of attempts, then you just go ahead and click that. But for the policy here at Insight, we go ahead and allow 3 attempts. So I'm going to go ahead and say 3 attempts right there. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is what we want the students to see when they submit that survey. Now, for some of us, if you are a content teacher, yeah, we do want our students to see what the incorrect answers are, but we don't want them to see what the correct answers are. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck this, and it's good kind of rule of thumb. There's, unfortunately, they will not learn if they find out the correct answers and redo it again. I mean, there's no learning done there. But with a survey, there's really no right or wrong answer. So if you forget that, you're okay. But like I said, make sure kind of you unclick that. Then as you scroll down, we're going to assign this to everyone. That means everyone in your caseload. You can add due dates if you would like right here, or if you'd like to add certain people to do this, that's up to you, okay? Now, once we finished all of that, we're going to go back up here to that questions, okay? Once we go into that questions, this is where we're going to put our survey. What questions do we want to ask our students? So I'm going to go ahead and add a question right here. And what I do want to change and make sure that we do this is that we are going to change this multiple choice, which is the default, to essay form or essay question, okay? From there, now I can go ahead and type my question. Do you like cats or dogs? Why? Okay, there's my first question. And I'm going to update my question right there. I'm obviously going to have more than one question, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to add a question. And what the nice part about is it actually does default to the essay question, so you don't have to worry about it. I do like to go back in just to make sure and check, and it does say essay question, so I'm good to go. So my next question would be, let's go this. What ride at Disneyland is your favorite? And why? Okay, there's my second question. And again, you could put as many questions as you like in there, but I just wanted to show you that you can get those essay or those survey questions right here. Okay, now once you are done with that, you're going to notice here at the very top it says not published. Okay, and so now we're going to go ahead and publish this. There is multiple opportunities for you to publish this survey. So if you forget and just push save, that's okay. But if you do happen to read and say save and publish, go ahead and do that, because now we're going to see that it is published. Okay, so it is green. If for some reason I don't want the students to see it yet, then I can go ahead and unpublish it by just clicking that. And then as you can see, it's kind of dark. It's that hollow circle with that line through it. That means it's not published. But for our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and publish it. Okay, so there's not only one place to publish it. There's multiple places, and I'll show you again too. Now that I have this survey published, I want to put it into my module. So I'm going to go back over here to the left-hand side and go up to modules. Now, if this survey is for at the beginning of a trimester or the beginning of a year or what may have you, and you need a module for that, you're just going to simply go up here and say add module. And as you add a module, there's your name. You can call it welcome. You can call it whatever you want. And then all you do is just push module, add module right here. That's how simple it is to add those modules. Now remember though, when you do add a module, it will be at the very, very bottom. It will not show up here at the very top. It's going to be at the very, very bottom. But once it's at the very, very bottom, you just go ahead and click those three dots and you say move module, and you can move it right to the top if that's fit for you. So let's go ahead and add this survey. Now in my module, I just have a sample unit. I'm going to go ahead and add it. In order to add it, I'm going to go ahead and push that plus sign right there. Okay. Something like this will pop up, and then I'm going to go into quiz. Remember, we just created a quiz/survey. Okay, so I'm going to go into quizzes, and then I'm going to go scroll down to the bottom. And right here is where you'll see it. So you highlight it and then just say add item. And boom, there it is. Now, for some reason, you added it, it's published, but you're like, I don't want the students to see it quite yet. I can go over here and I can unpublish it. And I can just click on this green check mark. And as you can see, it turns into a hollow circle with a line through it. That means it's unpublished. The students cannot see it. And I also know that way because of the green right here. There is no green on the side there, so I know it's unpublished. So now, if I do want to publish it, I can go back in and click on the green or click on that circle, and then boom, as soon as I see the green check mark, we know we are published, okay? Now, we're gonna go ahead and switch gears a little bit because I wanna show you how to view student analytics when you're looking at this survey. And it's really a cool tool because we're able to export into a Excel sheet all the answers, and then you can go ahead and save it to your computer. So let's go ahead and do this really fast. I'm going to view as student, and I'm going to view as student with those little glasses right there at the very top. Once you have viewed as student, at the bottom you will see like this purple, and I'm going to try to see if I could move it, this purple line at the bottom there, and that's going to be knowing that you are currently logged into Student View. All right, so here's what the students see. There's my survey, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. And it says take survey, so I'm going to go ahead and push that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just answer. And as we said, we put it in essay questions, so I'm going to go ahead and put cats, and again, and I'll put, haunted mansion. Okay, so there's my answers to my questions, and now I'm just going to submit my quiz. Now, once I've done that, it will say correct answers are hidden, but it's a survey, so again, there is no really right or wrong answer. Students can take the survey again if they would like, but for our purposes intended and our learning purposes, I'm going to go ahead now and leave Student View. At the bottom where you have that purple bar, you're going to see leave Student View. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Now, once I've done that, it brings me back to the teacher side of things where I say the sample survey 4. From here is where we can view survey statistics. And I'm going to go ahead and push that right there at the very, very top. Now, since this is an ungraded survey, we're not going to have scores or anything like that. But if you did have a quiz, this is another way you can look at it and to see which ones are high scores, low scores, standard deviation, and average time that students took to that for that quiz, and your average score. But since this is an ungraded survey, that doesn't have any, I really don't need that information. But I do need this student analysts. That is a report that can be downloaded and generated, and it will tell me exactly what the students said, what the student's name is, the ID, and what time, how long it took them to take this exam. So let's go ahead and see that. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and open it here. And as you can see, I have my student analytics here. I would have my student name, but since it is training purposes and I'm on my own, then you would have the name, the ID, the section, when it was submitted, how many attempts they took, and then the answers of those questions, incorrect or correct. Now remember, it is a survey, so obviously there is no right or wrong answer on that one. So that's how you would see that. And then from here, you can go ahead and save it on your computer or export it into another file that you have for this. But it gives a little bit of, it gives you just a little bit of, freedom and kind of to analyze how the students are doing. All right, so hopefully that helps you out with this creating a survey. If you have any questions, please, by all means, go ahead and reach out to Brittany, Jess, or myself, Katie, and we will definitely help you out. Just a reminder, though, is that the instructional coaches will have office hours dedicated to Canvas. So if you have any questions, please, by all means, come on in. Those will be on Wednesdays from 3 to 4, and then there will be Canvas office hours held by Brittany, I think tomorrow at 10 a.m. and some more to come. So if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. It is pretty easy, but again, it is some learning, so don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great one, and we'll see you all soon.